Yo, what's good? What's good, everybody?
What's
All right.
up?
Yo,
So,
how y'all
welcome
doing?
back. We good. We good. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Wise Man Podcast. I'm your host, Zach. Jacob, the showrunner, Mr. Fat himself.
What's up,
And we
Big
got
Fat?
Keisha. Yeah, we got Keisha back as a special guest. Good to have you back. How
Appreciate
you
it. It's good
feeling?
to be
How you
here.
feeling?
I'm feeling well, feeling very good.
Good.
Had a
All
little
right.
bit of a run for the past couple of months, but I'm
Yeah.
here, I'm back, I'm talking, can
Okay,
breathe and
for
all
sure.
that good stuff. And
For sure, for sure. All right, glad to hear that. All right, we're doing things a little differently today. We got the showrunner on here. We got Keisha back. Keisha, you were with us with another episode. Why Do Men Cheat Part One, I believe. Was it that one or the
was it
part
part
two?
one or part two? I believe it was part
It
two.
might have been part two.
Yeah.
Either way, it was a good discussion. You brought some good, fresh perspectives from that, from your unique experiences. That was a good
Mhm.
one. And with Ronnie, it's always a vibrant conversation. So yeah,
Okay, it's very
speaking of
colorful.
Ronnie, yeah, speaking of Ronnie, our other host, he's not able to be here today, but he will be back. So Ronnie, shout out to you. Hope everything's well at home. Uh, but today we're going to run episode 9, and today's topic is: Can men and women really just be friends? Are platonic friendships
Hell
possible?
no. Hell no.
And
That's
we're
it. That's
gonna
the
go
end of
on
the
through it.
podcast. That's it. Hell no. That's it. That's
Let's
the end.
start with this. Let's start with this. Who? Let's start with where we stand on it. All right.
All right.
So, Jacob, what's your take on it?
No, I don't think we can. Simple reason being, no matter how much you want something to be, you cannot account for the other person.
Mm,
You never know what's going on in their mind.
okay. All right. Let's keep it at that for now. We're gonna run to Keisha. Keisha, what's your answer on it?
I'm gonna give you the woman answer. Yes, I feel that we can. I'm not gonna cap. I feel like we can, and my logic behind it is for the fact that I understand what Jacob says. I understand that,
Mhm,
but at times, sometimes everything it's not what it seems.
mhm.
Things are just not what it seems. Now I can just have a strict platonic relationship with your ass. If you try to take it any further, then I realized that wasn't it wasn't what like Jacob said. It's not what I.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. All right. All right. I'm gonna give my take on it too, because I'm still deciding on what it is. But I will say my past experiences have been that we can't just be friends because the majority of my relationships with women have turned into uh oh, I like you, or I think we should be something more type thing, while I'm just vibing and cooling,
That
just
means that
things
person
like
had
that.
an agenda. To me, when I hear something like that, that's somebody that means that person had the agenda and knew what they was doing.
Okay, okay,
Nothing was done. Just it wasn't organic.
right. So maybe I don't know, maybe it was that, maybe I haven't just met someone where I could just have a platonic friendship, but I could think
Mhm.
about it and see if I have. And I'll say I have had some platonic friendships with with women and stuff like that. I just have to think about it.
Mhm.
But
Jacob.
this is a really good conversation though. This is one where people really get mixed up. A lot of unpopular opinions can be expressed with this one. So we definitely want to break this one down. So Jacob, can you break down what you mean by what you said? Because yours is probably a popular, unpopular opinion.
It's so
Yeah.
big.
Let's see. All right. So,
Golly.
real quick, shout out Three Wise Men. Shout out PNS Studios, guys. If you guys don't know, I'm Fat from the Fat and Spicy Show, guys. You can catch me tomorrow with Spicy on the Fat and Spicy Show on PNS Studios. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, follow. All right, so you
Whoop,
can catch
whoop.
more great podcasts. But let's dive into the question here: Can men and women really just be friends? Uh, I don't think so. I don't believe so. I think to me it's been proven time and time again because one, there's the factor that is I can't trust myself. You
Mhm.
know, let's just say that you have a very charismatic personality.
Mhm.
So me being knowing that I'm this way, I can't put myself in a position to open up potential, you know, outcomes, even though I may just be doing something just because it's me,
Mhm.
Mhm.
but somebody else might feel differently. They may like, oh, he's being nice to me. He must like, you know. So I could go and I could buy you food. I could be like, hey, you hungry? And that's just me buying you food. In my mind, I'm just you my friend. I'm gonna feed you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
In your mind, you could, oh, he buying me food. He must really be into me. You know what I'm saying? He talked to me every day.
Mhm.
And again, it just goes to show that you never know what the other person is thinking. You know, and
Right.
I mean I've been on the other end of that as well, where I've had someone be nice to me and I
Mhm.
misinterpreted, the
Mhm.
situation.
Mhm.
And then I take it too far and it gets uncomfortable.
Mhm.
You know,
I understood. Go ahead.
so I mean, I've had currently right now, I can't say that I have any female best friends. So that just goes to prove my point even more. You
Mhm.
know, and it's both ways. Like again, I would never put myself in a position to where I feel like I would be tempted by somebody else, especially if
Mhm.
I know that person has a relationship, or if I have a relationship, I'd never put myself in a position to test myself. You know,
Okay.
like I'm never gonna stand in front of a gun and be like, I think I'm bulletproof.
Mhm.
You
I got
know,
you.
you know,
This might not go through me.
yeah, I might, one shot. I could probably take about 3 shots. I don't want to test it, and
Yeah.
that's me knowing myself though. That's me knowing myself, knowing the type of person that I am, and
Mhm.
knowing that things always get misinterpreted. And I'm one of those nice people that I'm not gonna be like I can tell. I can tell when
Yeah.
somebody's taking it the wrong way, but
Mhm.
I'm too nice to sit there and be like, hey, look, sit the fuck down, chill out.
Mhm.
You one
Right.
of the boys, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
you know. Uh,
Yeah.
to me, that's just my take on it. That's the reason why I can't, because I can't say yes to that as much as I would like to. I was one of those people that fought many years before, and I was like, "This is my best friend. This is my best friend. This is just my friend." Blah 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 blah. I did that many years in the past, and I'm willing to sit there and say that I was not a good person in my previous relationships. A lot
Okay.
of times when I would say things like that, I was very much a dog in these streets. Yeah.
Yeah.
So knowing that and knowing, how what my intentions were and the mindset of a man, you know, because no matter where you come from, a man is always gonna have two brains, one on his shoulder and one between his legs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
they always fight. There's always a time in your life where you're sitting there and you're trying to fight between the right and the wrong.
Yeah.
And as a man, the wrong wins sometimes, and you do things for the wrong reasons.
Mhm.
And me knowing that, I've sat there and I've been on both ends of the stick to know damn well that if she's trying to keep it platonic, he ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because what's the point? What to so men, in my mind, men are all about benefit. What benefits them?
Mhm.
As a man, you cannot logically invest in something without a return.
Mhm.
So men think about this in any kind of aspect. Whenever you women and everybody, y'all see it all the time when y'all take a man out, they take you out on a date, and they pay for your food, they pay for your drinks. Next thing you know, so you gonna come over to my place? He already went in there expecting that. He
Mhm.
expected the outcome. That is
Yeah.
a man. That is the way the men work. They invest in you the same way, and it could be something that's easy as marriage. They invest in you as a wife because they see a
Yeah.
future with you, building a family and building an empire.
Uh-huh.
Man invests his time and money into you because they see a potential outcome in getting you back home, getting you in the sack.
Uh-huh.
Me knowing this as men and me
Mhm.
believing that this is the mindset of men, I can't sit there and agree because I know that men always have that moment where they're like, "What am I gonna get out of this?"
Mhm.
And that's just the dog in men.
Yeah. I,
You speak
okay.
of all of them: long, tall, short, fat, skinny,
Hey, look,
smoked out, not smoked out.
you already know, Keith. You should know. You know what I'm saying? That even studs aren't safe from men. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know that's some damn chasers out there, boy.
You know what I'm saying? Look at
Yeah.
Kodak.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen. I was working at one company one time, right?
Uh,
Okay, and and constantly, always, it never, without fail, I'm working, minding my business,
mm,
accompanying whoever I'm, assisting whoever it is I need to go ahead and assist with, man. And they be like, "Come on, let me just take you out to Red Lobster." I'm like, "Nigga, I don't know fucking Red Lobster. I'm not talking."
wow.
I
It never
don't
works out.
got.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right,
Oh,
I don't
Ramiro.
you
fucking
got
Red
somebody on your
Knows.
Lobster.
side, Jacob.
Ramiro knows
It's
100%.
true.
It never works
Let me.
out,
I
bro.
said, but you know what? Listen. My investment. So okay, I go out to eat with you. I said, listen, I got a car note. Well,
But
how much your car note?
get
six
him.
hundred dollars.
He
Oh,
asked how
What's your
much?
move? I said $600. What's your move? Oh,
uh,
I don't know if I can do that. All right, excuse me. I can't talk to you. Excuse me. I gotta go.
funny.
That's what
I
I'm
gotta go.
saying.
I ain't got time. See you. I'm getting my goddamn. You ain't getting nothing. You ain't getting no sugar. I ain't got no
Yeah.
sugar. I am salty.
Keisha, like, I'm trying to get what you trying to get. We on the same team. What you talking about?
Because you think I look right. I look good.
Ain't nobody safe. Oh man,
Ain't nobody say. I ain't got time for
that's
that.
wild.
Talking about dude walking up to Keisha talking about you handsome as hell. Hey, I
You
appreciate
hesitant. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah.
Man,
that. And,
but yeah, I want to speak on that. I'm glad you brought it up, Jacob, because
Yeah.
we live in an age where people want to ignore the biology of the fact. Like we're, I don't know, I don't care how woke you can be, you can't ignore the biology behind it. We still gonna feel how we feel. Nature kicks in. Nature is primitive. That's one of the first things you're gonna feel. Like you hungry, you sleepy, you're gonna feel those things. You can't ignore those
Mhm.
things. Um, and so when it comes to relationships and stuff, you're still gonna feel those things. You might be friends with somebody, but your biology is gonna kick in. And depending on how you feeling on a particular day, how horny you might be one night, chances are you
the
might be
devil
looking at
come
that
knocking when you're
friend.
trying to do right.
Yeah, yeah. When the conditions are
We
set
set up
just right.
for with that.
Yeah,
Ooh, so
you.
Hey,
Yeah,
set
like I
up
told
about
Keisha,
for.
I said, I
My God.
wish Ronnie was here because Ronnie would say, this is
Oh,
what I picture Ronnie saying.
yeah.
yeah.
Hey, you only way it's gonna work is if she big and ugly. And even then, it might
Even
not work because
then,
even then, I
exactly.
might get home after a couple of shots of Henny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She looking good. I can
Uh huh.
barely see, you know,
You close your eyes, that imagination to kick in.
everybody look the same in the dark.
But yeah,
uh,
though, and
I
we got.
was friends with somebody who used the term sexy nasty.
Sexy nasty.
Sexy nasty, meaning you not the best looking, but for some reason you just sexy to me. And I can't. I that's sexy
I
nasty
get
right
that.
there. I don't.
You
Yeah.
sexy because he want to get nasty. That's why.
Uh huh. When that urge
Look,
is there, you turn the
men,
blind eye to some things.
men are have their own built-in beer goggles. You know what I'm saying? And it comes in the form of, you know what I'm saying, the man downstairs. That is the
Oh,
mix that with alcohol. That's an instant.
yeah.
That's a dangerous mix.
That's a
Yeah.
dangerous mix. You know, because he's already dangerous by himself. I
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
mean, you know what I'm saying. When we talk about like a craving, like a fiend, man.
Mm.
You ain't never seen a man when
Well, that
when
that
he ain't had it and
that
he
that
wants it.
that
He
you
calling up his exes. The exes he done hurt. Hey, look, I'm sorry. And he's saying he'll say and do whatever. You know what I'm saying
Uh-huh.
to get what he wants.
yeah, man, that's too much.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is, I mean, I get it. That urge. That monkey on your
Mhm.
goddamn back. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I get it. But I guess that's where I differ from because I don't. I don't 100%, and I say not 100% because it's just where I'm at.
Mm.
Not at 100%. Okay.
Oh,
Don't
95.
don't shut your ass up. I don't let the urges win. Now, am I going to say that there's times where the urges win? Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
But at least 50% of the time, or I give it a good 75% of the time, because I have self control.
Mm,
I have a lot of self control. I had self control from the time I was young.
mm,
I don't know if that's something biologically within me. I have no idea.
mm.
But I never let the what's it called? The those inner thoughts, those inner oh my
Temptations, them
god.
demons. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. I know
Uh,
they was never able to surface unless it was something under the influence or whatever the case is. Like you said, under
got you.
you know.
Okay.
But
Well,
I've
So
been thing.
so
you
you
different though.
say, yeah, you're basically holding yourself accountable.
Yeah, I guess
So
so.
that's what in that sense, I can understand what you're saying when you say, yeah, it's possible because you are holding yourself accountable. And I think
Mhm.
that's one of the things that it's a rare quality, especially nowadays, people holding themselves accountable. And nobody wants to do that.
Mm,
I'm
You know
not
what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
don't ask me to hold you. I can hold you accountable of
No,
your
no, no, no,
actions.
but holding themselves accountable.
So
Like hold on.
yeah.
You know, people
Yeah.
would rather blame it on their horoscope. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
People, the first
Hey,
thing
I'm
the
just a
first thing that happens
Virgo.
when somebody cheats on somebody, they say, "Oh, why'd you cheat on me? Oh, you weren't giving me this," instead of
Yeah.
Mhm.
being accountable of your own actions. And that's the
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
reason. And I think that's the reason why I say I can't do it because I don't trust society as it is now.
Uh-huh.
You know,
I
granted,
agree.
there still are people that are like you, and from your aspect, I can understand it because you are holding yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Mm,
You know, you remove yourself in those situations, whereas I don't put myself in those situations. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't trust myself in general. That's all. I just don't put myself in there at all.
yeah.
You know, it's like Jacob,
Yeah.
you want to go out? No, I can't. You know,
Nah,
I don't really want to. You know what I'm saying?
Ah,
Appreciate it
I
though.
gotta wash. I gotta wash my hair.
Yeah, you
Jacob,
know,
you ain't got no
exactly.
hair.
I got to
Mind your
shave.
business.
Jake, I'm gonna piggyback off of that because I agree. Uh, I think a lot of people lack self control and discipline and
Mhm.
understanding what relationships really mean. And so I think we having a lot of people in platonic relationships or these type of situationships where they just having those platonic moments. They not really platonic friends. They just having
Oh
moments
yeah.
here and there. But given
Mhm.
a chance, you hit them up and give them a pass, they gonna take it.
What?
They gonna
Especially if
take it
that's something they've been thinking about. Oh
for
shit!
sure, for sure.
If that's something
Right.
they've been thinking about, good
And
lord,
I'm speaking,
that's when the problem start.
yeah, and I'm speaking as a man who's trying to be celibate and stuff. And so doing that, going on that journey, things are amplified. All right. When you
Conversation.
ain't getting no play, when you ain't trying to be a part of that lifestyle anymore, for the time being, things are like imagine starving yourself and somebody just waving food at you. Okay? Things are heightened. Like I can smell food from a mile
You
away
like
now. You know what I mean? And you know where we work. Things are just handed to you on a platter. All right. And you keep looking at the same stuff over and over. Yeah, things are gonna start looking good. Yeah.
let
So
me tell you something. I would say one of the realest things, and I cut you off. I apologize. Excuse me.
no, you good.
One of the realest things I have ever heard in my life, and I quote this from her. This is from my friend Q. I talked to her in a while, but it's from her. This is what she said. She was like, she's retired military. Um, I will never forget this. She said it when I was young. I was like in my early 20s and shit. But what she said is she was like, the person who I'm with right now, she was like, this the shit is crazy. She was like, I had no intentions of being with this person. She said, I'm with them, I'm with them, I'm with them. That's cool. It was cool and whatever. We had our agreement. See, the problem was we got to talking and I
Mm.
got to know this motherfucker. And she said just like that. And I got to know this motherfucker. And this motherfucker got to know me. Then we realized, damn, I'm catching feelings for each other. God damn it. This like that,
Oh,
like exactly. But I get it. But I say that in the form of like you have you let's say you have your what's it called? You already have your situationship. You know your friends with benefits type business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have that going on, but you're speaking in a situation of you're trying you're centering yourself.
Uh-huh.
You're
So
Yeah.
trying to center yourself, and your the temptation is around the devil that we work on. We live in the devil's playground.
Uh-huh.
It's up to it'll always be up to you as it'll run down to what accountability. If you can't hold your peace, peace. That's just what it
I
is.
like that.
If you can't hold your peace, peace. I
so that,
gotta go.
that's like a
Yeah.
different aspect of women and men just being friends. We talking about can women and men just be cut friends? Can they just be, fuck friends?
Yeah.
Oh no, absolutely not. Not just
No,
fuck.
no.
Uh-huh.
Hell no.
Can they do that and not generate those feelings?
Hell no.
Mm.
A bitch that catching feelings in a heartbeat. If that's the case, I chase my accident. Hell no, a bitch catching
Mm.
feelings in a heartbeat and they don't even. Excuse me.
Mm.
And a whole entire heartbeat. It's
Yeah.
happened. And proven time to time. I'm thinking but I'm thinking friends like hey, I'm about to call my homeboy up. Da, 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 da. No, you
Okay.
talking
Yeah.
about every week we done smash already and everything,
No,
and we
no, no.
continue to
This
do
is
this.
different.
Uh,
Oh, woo, what, what,
well,
girl?
this is how I feel about it. We
Mm,
got two things that kick in. Two things. One is the need for love and connection,
mm,
and then two is that biological thing I talk about, needing to get your
mm,
rocks off. The freaky gene. That's what I call it. So either one of those are gonna kick in, and that can
mm,
really make or break a relationship, especially platonic relationships. And
mm.
so you people really gotta figure out how to navigate those two things.
Okay.
You get what I mean? We're in a
I,
society where people want to be close and
mhm,
love, and so they want the most real form of that. And in our minds, the highest peak that you can get to that is uh, sex or getting into a intimate relationship with that person. Does that make sense?
mhm.
But I think
Yeah,
Yeah.
with that, I get what you're saying. But the thing is, people don't realize, and that's the downfall where society is at right now. That they believe that sex is the ultimate thing. Like once you
Yeah.
give, like once you reach and get that, that's the top. That's it. Like
mhm,
Right.
that's the end of the fucking soda bottle. You throw the trash away after that.
Hmm.
Nobody's reaching, nobody is striving for more. So
Right.
that's why there's so many people that are left feeling empty despite getting it. So they're
Yeah.
constantly chasing a high that's never gonna get there because they're chasing the wrong thing.
Hmm.
It's a picture, what they say about heroin, you're always chasing that high, that first high.
Hmm.
So you get a feeling of emotion and connection, and you're always chasing that feeling of just having sex, but it's never gonna be like that first time when you felt something way about that person that you had sex with.
Yeah.
So they're just constantly trying to come up with these different avenues to fill in that void because that's where their mind it's a mindset thing. They don't understand that.
Hmm.
They think it's a person thing. They think it's
Yeah.
maybe I'm just not feeling this person. I'm not feeling this one. I got to go to the next thing. It's not. You're chasing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
mhm.
I
Instead
Understand.
agree.
of you feel like in your mind you say, "Oh, I'm going after good pussy because the pussy was good. That's what I'm
Mhm.
chasing." That's not
Uh-huh.
what it was.
Right.
Right.
You don't want to face the fact that it was emotion, that it was
Mm.
connection, that it was real genuine connection that had you feeling that way.
Yeah.
Mhm,
You know what I'm saying? Which is why a lot of people go back to their baby mamas and stuff like that. They'll go back to their baby daddies and still fuck around with them. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
Mhm.
baby daddy got good dick. It ain't that. It's the emotion that you feel because you don't spend so much time, even though a lot of it was negative towards the end, you had a lot of great times with that person.
Uh-huh.
And people get trapped in that mindset that they say, oh, we break up. I go on something else. I go on a date with somebody else. He even trashier than my ex. So what does
Mm.
my mind do? What does my mind do to save face? What does my brain do? What does my heart do? It goes back in reverse and it says, hey, when was the last time I was ever happy? When was the last time I was really happy? Wait, the
Mm-hmm.
last time you were happy was with your ex.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you go back thinking that it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be different because you're trying to look for that
Mhm.
instead of continuing to push forward and say, hey, that date was just something. It was just, there's always another date. There's always another date. Keep pushing.
Yeah.
No, you rather revert. You rather go back
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because you don't want to push forward. So you're
I
sitting there
Regression is
agree.
chasing these empty dreams.
regression is the thing. I ain't even gonna tell.
We got Dr. Phil in the chat right now. Okay, okay.
Nah,
Mhm.
it just with the whole with the
Yeah,
men and women thing. Uh, I just feel people are chasing the wrong thing, man. You know what I'm saying?
I
Especially when it
Mhm.
agree.
comes to this is the reason why we can't be friends
Hmm.
because somebody's always chasing something, and
Hmm.
nobody in
Nobody
this world.
nobody has that organic. Just I just want a friend. I
Hmm.
just you know.
Yeah, because nobody sees the benefit in it.
Yeah,
Nobody
Mhm.
sees the benefit in friendship because everybody's so used to being quote unquote alone. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's so used to being by their lonely by themselves, and they feel like they're comfortable in it. That they too prideful to admit that what they really want is companionship. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because it's look
yeah,
companionship is looked at as a sign of weakness. Oh, you need somebody to be there for you. You a bitch. You a pussy. You know what I'm saying? You got to have somebody to hold your hand.
yeah,
Yes, I do. The fact hold my hand and tell
You
me that I'm
know,
wrong.
but that's the thing though. And people look at it as a sign of weakness
Yeah.
yeah. People
nowadays.
got it twisted.
And all these little things contribute to the bigger issue where we can't be honest. We can't be honest with ourselves. We can't be honest with anybody else. So how can we be friends when we
Right.
can't even be honest with ourselves? How can we be honest with somebody else? And whether it's a guy dude, with a girlfriend, a boyfriend, or just a homeboy, you can't
Uh-huh.
you can't be honest with him. You can't be
I
honest with
expect you to be honest
yourself.
with me. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Woo.
saying? You can't even have
Yeah,
a real friend, let alone a friend that's a female.
yeah.
I can't.
You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? You can't because I guarantee dudes watching this. I guarantee when they feeling down and depressed, they ain't gonna call their homeboy and be like, "Hey man, look, I'm just really down and depressed right now." No, hell no. They ain't. They won't do it because they're not
Yeah,
real. You're not real to yourself. You're not real to your friends. You're not. You don't know what it's like to even have a real friend.
yeah.
You
Jay,
know,
you
and and
speaking now?
and as
Yikes!
much and as much
Yikes!
and as much as I hate to say this, and I don't say I hate to say it for the simple fact that it's racism or anything, but I have to give props to white people for having those types of relationships where they take it a little too far. To, I'm not with you showing me your dick and stuff. Talking about because we cool like that. But they take it.
Man, look, you see this
They
thing here? You ever had this?
yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like look at this cut, man. What's that? No,
What
yeah,
the fuck is that?
you know they take it a little too
Y'all
far.
crazy.
You know, well,
A
it's
little
because I
too
grew up. I
goddamn
grew up.
open
I
for me.
grew up with white friends like that. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh man.
like I grew up with my white friends. We used to all like it would be like 4 or 5 of us in one bed. Like you know what I'm saying? Because we spend the night and we all on one
Mm.
bed. We was close. But
Who's your
that's the thing.
cousin?
That's the level of closeness that I'm talking about. When he was upset, he would call me. He'd be like, "Bro, look, I'm really upset right now." He'd be crying,
Mm.
and he'd tell me what was going on. I could give him advice as a friend.
Right.
You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not when my so-called homeboys hit me up. Hey man, what you doing, man? You want to go out? What we going out for? I don't know. Just let's go out. Go get some drinks.
Mhm.
So we just getting drunk for no reason. But
Yeah.
in the back of your mind, my mind, I already know something bothering you. You just don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Right.
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 You know what I'm saying? But again, like, how can I trust you as a friend when you can't trust me enough to be honest with you, be real with
Uh-huh.
Okay. I mean, I get that. And then when it comes down, that's why I feel it's cool to have, a different I started to say species. A different sex
Mm.
as
Okay.
as a damn
you. Yeah.
different sex as some form of a friend.
But that and
Now
that
I say
that's where
I
it gets
say
misconstrued.
exactly. Now I say some form of a friend because just like how you said at the beginning of this show, you don't know what people's intentions are. You have no idea what people's intentions are. Now, if you need
Okay.
somebody you just need to damn talk to, a lot of people. Okay, I say it like this: a lot of people in the past, what happened was nobody like to talk about their feelings now. A lot of this is in the black and brown community. They don't they're not in tune with their feelings, and if they are in tune with their feelings, it starts out that way, but it gets decentralized from out of them, desensitized, excuse me, desensitized from out of them. Okay, to where you end up having to be stone cold,
Mm,
right? To where you
Mm.
don't have you have emotions, but you don't feel 'em. Like that's in the case of me. I I'm now embarking on my therapy journey. I
mm,
start Wednesday. I'm fucking terrified. I'm not even
Props.
gonna lie to
Hey man, props.
you. I am
yeah.
fucking terrified.
Hey, it takes
I
some people will never they'll go to the grave before they ever consider
talk
therapy.
about their feelings. You feel me? Exactly. But I've recently experienced, like over the past like 2 to 3 years, I've recently experienced some things to where I needed to be able to harness my feelings, and I couldn't fucking do it. Yeah, I
Mm,
have my confidant, my brother. That's
Rock.
that's my rock. That's my biggest supporter. Even happy, mad, sad, whatever. Always my biggest supporter. And I give that kudos back to him and everything.
mm,
Being able to talk when you got such certain things going on in your mind, you don't know how to express it. You can't even express it to the person who you consider to be, whether that is your brother and you consider your brother to be your best friend, or that's your sister and you consider your sister to be your best friend. When you can't express yourself to them, that's how you know that there's something internally
Yeah,
internally
mm,
wrong.
something
Now,
wrong, something blocking
now,
you.
now, yeah, exactly. And when you have a female as a, now, go back. I say that to say this. When you have sometimes as females, not sometimes, all females are taught to harness their feelings, depending on the type of household that they grow up in.
They're
Which
nurturing by nature.
yeah.
right. Exactly. So if you got a male friend. If I got a male friend, he want to talk. For instance, my brother want to go ahead and talk because he just need to vent, but he can't vent to nobody else because just like you say, it's not
Too
really gonna
tough.
go no further.
You ain't man enough.
Man, you know what I'm saying?
Mm,
You go ahead and you get your female friend, best friend, whatever, sister,
Who's
homegirl
automatically
from the
taught to be
past.
nurturing.
yeah.
You can
And
go
on the
ahead and
side,
talk to them, and and they
women love gossip and tea, so they gonna listen.
that, well, I ain't got time for that shit. I hear it. I'm around it. That's the worst thing about it. Somebody who wants nothing to do with fucking gossip and is always around gossip, and you just hear it. You just know everything that's going on, but you don't have no business speaking on it. That's
Uh,
that's that's just the thing of it.
But you're
But
right though. You're right.
yeah, like all of that there, like it everything plays it plays it has its own play
So
to it. It
I'll
has its
break
own
down
branch.
what she's saying for somebody who might have got lost in the translation.
So
mm,
sorry.
What
oh,
Keisha is simplified is the reason a reason that men again make it hard to be friends with women is because and again we're breaking it down to a science. We're not just saying oh because he want to smash. It's that too, but it's underlying issues. You want to what we want to get down is to the bottom of why. You want to attack the underlying issue and figure out why it is that we are the way we are. And what you're
Hmm.
saying is that it's emotion. It comes off as emotion where you start to feel comfortable with somebody who you've never felt the comfortability with because you yourself have never been challenged to open yourself up emotionally with
Hmm.
anybody else, especially your homeboy. So when the woman
Hmm.
who is automatically nurturing by nature comes and
Hmm.
says, "Hey," and gives you that shoulder to lean on, and you confide, you are willing to let your guard down and confide in this person as you should anybody else that's your friend, but you choose her. Now you yourself have given yourself a piece of yourself to this person and you have formed a connection, a bond,
You
something
give
that
me
you're
your
not
soul.
familiar with. You're not familiar with that connection. You're not familiar with
Yeah.
that feeling of easiness. So you
Hmm.
misconstrued it as love. You misconstrued it as a connection of passion
mm,
because you yourself do not know any better. And this is why I
Hmm.
give props a million times to Keisha and anybody else that gives counseling and therapy to understand your emotions is a hell of a it's a key to unlocking infinite outcomes for yourself because you are able to understand yourself better.
Hmm.
I'll leave a note real simple and say when I tell people all the time, anger is not a real emotion.
Oh shit. It's
Anger
not.
is a reaction.
mm,
Okay. And it's a reaction whether you got embarrassed, whether you feel attacked, whether you feel like you were humiliated. These are the
Hmm.
reasons that you get angry. These are reactions. But again, therapy and all this stuff allows you to understand and sit there and say, hey, I don't really like the way you talk to me. I don't like the way you said that. It makes me
Mhm.
feel this way. I feel humiliated. I feel less of a
Mhm.
man when you talk to me like that. So I'm
Mhm.
starting to get angry. Boom. Notice that, adjust yourself accordingly, and then you'll be able to understand it. You'll find yourself able to open up to more than just females. Open yourself up to your homeboys. You open yourself up to yourself,
Mhm.
and teach your friends to open up.
Teaching people how to treat you. Shit. Who knows? You
Yeah,
go ahead
yeah,
and you could go ahead and express yourself at one point in time, and then I know they make the little memes about it, or like the little short videos, or animated stories and stuff about it. Guys playing the game, and all of a sudden, one of them has a they want to express themselves, like, hey guys, I just want to let y'all know, I was going through something, and have to play this game, have to play the game with y'all right now, it's making me
Oh
feel
yeah,
well,
yeah.
they be like,
You
oh man, you a
gay?
pussy, yeah, right.
Yeah,
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
out of here.
You know,
Hey,
yeah, things like that in that nature,
yeah.
some people don't know that they don't understand you're being vulnerable right there. Even if it's just
Okay.
a little bit of vulnerability, that little bit of vulnerability, and you react in not the positive way of how I feel you should react. How I feel, and again, like I said, how I feel you should react.
Hmm.
Not of what I know, or what I feel is what I feel. How I
Yeah,
accept it is how I accept it.
yeah.
But that stuff can stop somebody from wanting to ever really express themselves to you ever again.
Mm.
So I got a
Well
question.
said.
I got a question for Zach. So
Hmm.
again, I'm comfortable with myself. I'm comfortable
Mhm.
enough to admit Zach's a good looking dude. All right. So Zach, I'm gonna ask you this with you because I know for a fact, again, you've went to the buffet and you've had your plethora of choices.
Yeah.
No,
You got your
You know what I'm
platter.
saying? You want,
uh,
and we just gonna be honest. But I
mm,
want you to tell me what your thoughts are on vice versa. We've talked about why men, can't be friends with women. What about the reverse? What about when women, want a little more? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that women can't sit there and just be friends with men, especially good-looking men such as yourself?
Mhm.
man, it's many ways I can answer this. But I'm gonna just speak on my own experiences. I've been in relationships. I've been friends with women, or thought I was friends with women, and come to find out they were working an angle on me, trying to get the benefits, reap the benefits. And
Mhm.
so it causes you to question, was all this real in the first place? And so I feel like women have this checklist in their mind of, all the things they like in a man. And if they can get friendship out of that as well, that's a bonus. You know what I mean? So women, generally speaking, women are romantically minded. And so if they can get romance out of the friendship too, they're gonna get that. Especially somebody they deem attractive. And so I've been the object of that. Okay, not to my own horn or nothing like that. Just speaking on experience, and it.
I mean, it's not.
I don't know.
When you think about it, it's not.
Yeah,
A lot of men will sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, that's a good thing." You know what I'm saying? You got all the bitches fucking after you. You know what I'm saying? They lining up. It's not. It's
yeah,
not because when you're trying to find when you it's, picture a celebrity who's trying to find something genuine such as love, but you
yeah,
can't because you're so afraid that everybody's gonna be after your money. You
mm,
Mhm.
know.
yeah.
So my question, I guess, more or less, I want to know is why do you think that they are? Why do you think that you think that women are self conscious and they feel like if they can get the attention of a good looking man like yourself, makes them feel better about themselves. Maybe that's what kind of
Oh yeah,
that's kind of like, oh,
yeah.
if I can get Zach to fall for me, I'll be good. Like I got it like that.
Yeah,
Make
yeah,
it
and
make it like
even women in relationships, they look for gratification, whatever you want to call it, validation. If they feel like they're not getting it in their current relationship, they're gonna find that in somebody else. I don't care how they spin it, they're gonna try to find that, and they can be slick. Women are very very slick now, very
hey,
underhanded,
hey,
and
look, I'll be
so
the first one to say men play checkers, women play chess.
exactly that. So is and they.
You know what
They
I'm
can
saying?
do it without showing their
You know
hand.
how many times in my life I've apologized for an argument I never started?
Too many to count.
Yeah, yeah.
Too many to count.
I think women have a high emotional intelligence, and that's a skill, that's a quality that men may have, but they suppress it because we don't show our emotions very much. We don't have that experience and take the time to actually explore our feelings like that, especially not with the next man. So women, they know that. They know that, and they're going to use that to their advantage for the
I
toxic
mean,
ones out there.
I'll ask you, when's the last time you wrote in your diary, Zach? Look, he like,
Phew,
what diary?
man,
What diary?
I
What
write,
diary?
I write, I write when I feel inspired, but I don't do it consistently.
You know what
It's
I'm saying?
like it's like a last resort for me.
Like, you know what I'm saying, do you leave notes for yourself, or
Yeah, I do that from time to time, but I'm different. I will say that
you know what I'm
the
saying?
average
So
man won't do that.
no, no, but again, and it's not something we grow up learning to do.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I think,
Trying to think when the last time I wrote in my diary. Yeah.
yeah, you know,
Probably about a year. I ain't gonna lie. Like I did like maybe like maybe 5 entries. I try to do it like
Mhm.
once a month type thing, but I
Yeah.
ended up I couldn't keep up with it. I guess because just mentally I just wasn't there. So that
Hmm.
might probably be like was like an advanced thing for me or whatever. So didn't
Yeah.
know what to write, or if I did write, I was scared that somebody was going to find my book because I'm expressing my feelings and saying things that I can't say out loud because somebody
That's
will
right.
probably be like, "Yo, what the hell is wrong with you?" If
Yeah.
somebody read
Yeah.
my damn book or whatever,
So
they be like, "But you feel like this?"
yeah,
Damn.
that's another
No.
thing. Like what you were saying, Jacob. You never know what the other person's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Some things are so private, so sensitive that you can't share with the next person. And that goes
mhm,
with the relationships that we get in with other people. So you can't just say, like me and Keisha, we could be friends or whatever, but I'm not
Yeah.
gonna tell her, hey, the other night I was feeling this way about you because you know how I was feeling, that type of thing. Because
Mm-hmm.
those are, it may be an intrusive thought. Some things should be said out loud because that may damage the relationship that you're in. You get what I'm saying?
Or
that's
you
true.
get a friend like me, be like, "Ew, you talking about?"
Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
disgusting. That is
So,
disgusting.
yeah. So,
That just take a low blow right there. It's like
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like,
Zach over
damn,
there
I'm just
like,
trying to express my feelings to
you
you,
got
but you did.
you gotta say
That's
ew.
disgusting.
You ain't gotta say yuck.
You know what? Don't talk to me for a couple of days, because who the hell?
No, no, like it's things like that. You know,
Yeah.
when somebody ever told you, "I want to know everything about you," type thing, and
Yes,
you look at it and be
yes.
like, "You don't, no, you don't,"
Hmm.
You know how
because
many
everything
times I've
about
sat
you
there and
includes,
actually tried to tell people everything about it. They just stick around. They just
yeah, because everything ain't for everybody to know.
100%.
Yeah,
Every
so we have to sit there as someone looking for a potential partner is find that person that you can be the most open with. Do you feel that there's a person out there you can be 100% open with?
yeah. Um,
some stuff you take to
me,
God about.
Like some stuff you gotta take to the grave, man.
Yeah,
I ain't really got nothing to take to the grave. I'm just
That
be honest with you.
diary.
That
yeah,
dirt. I said I made like 5 entries. That's it. I ain't touched the bitch
Uh,
since.
oh, you gotta write more than that. You gotta write more than that.
yeah. I told you,
No,
Keisha different though. Keisha different.
Most definitely.
honestly,
Exactly.
yeah. That's why why they flock to
Yeah.
me, baby.
I ain't never thought nobody
Too
that said they
bold.
ain't had no inner demons or nothing like that. No struggles with that type of thing. Come on now.
Yeah.
That's I'm like,
I
okay,
mean, when
you
I
well
think
off.
about it, yeah. Like it was
Yeah.
shit. Like it was,
So
when
that's
I
my
like.
thing though. I feel like I feel like men and women can be friends, but
Mhm,
that doesn't that doesn't mean that the feelings and emotions aren't gonna come with it.
mhm,
It takes discipline. It takes all these boundaries that you have to set up.
mhm,
So when people say, "Oh, I don't feel this or that about this person,"
Mhm.
I'm thinking they're generalizing. They won't tell
Yeah.
you that they had a single thought about that person.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're just saying
So
it. They're saying it now. You can sit there and say that. Hi, Lola. You can sit there and say that, and just like once again, that's the word I was looking for. Intrusive thought. You might
yeah,
go to bed. You might go to bed and have a dream about this person, and
yeah,
take that. You can take that shit to your grave,
yeah,
or maybe not.
So
yeah,
so with everything that we've talked about today,
Mhm,
do I'll ask everybody here, do you
mhm,
think that you would still be okay
mhm,
with your partner who you
mhm,
trust having
mhm.
close friends of the opposite sex or of the same sex variety? As far as like if you like women and they just a bunch of lesbian friends.
Keisha, you want to speak first on it?
Yeah, I think
No,
first.
knowing what we're talking about now with can women and men be really friends and can women and women be friends
Yeah,
if there's like sexual attraction, even though we don't know, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Right. If we don't know, um,
But like, let's say for instance, like exactly if your old lady, she look good,
yeah.
mm,
you know what I'm saying, and
Fine as a mug, uh-huh.
you know the dog that men are,
Yeah,
and she got a straight dude that says, "Oh, I want you, I'm my best friend," you know what I'm saying?
yeah. So me personally, knowing my woman and knowing how innocent she can be and things like that, my girl is not toxic. Like she doesn't try to be. Nobody's perfect, of course, but I no, I know people too much. I know people too well. I know men too well. You know, so if she says she wants to form a relationship like that, I'm gonna send Buddy through the ringer. Like we gonna, it's gonna be a bunch of tests, bunch of monitoring. I'm not just gonna leave her off to herself with Buddy because I know men and women can't just be friends without obstacles first. I gotta know she's putting up boundaries, setting safety guidelines in place.
mhm,
You know what I mean? And so we have been in situations where that has become a problem. So she tried to be friends with her ex. I was like, all right. Prior experiences have led me to say no to that. But I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I said I won't let it be a problem until it becomes a problem. And lo and
mhm,
behold, it became a problem. And so I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to move differently from here on out. If not, we can't make this a thing. So we've been moving wiser ever since. And
mhm,
so if it's possible, we got to put them boundaries in place. Ain't no going out just y'all two. That's my opinion on the matter.
So Spice says, "I'm friends with my ex, but of course there are boundaries. That's one of the biggest
Okay,
right.
things."
so thank you for that. Boundaries are necessary. Is that what you're saying?
100% boundaries. And that's it. I only recently. It is so crazy in my
I,
30s. Like from the time of me actually, starting out in relationships to where I'm at right now, having to learn about boundaries at least less than 3 years ago is crazy.
Hmm.
Have
Really?
you know?
we don't know.
I'm
Yeah,
so serious. I
Yeah,
am so serious. I feel it is something like you can learn about them, but when you actually start to enforce them, you put them up and you enforce them. You enforce them. You see how you see how
a
people used
change.
to treat you.
Yeah,
You see
you
how
see a
people.
yeah,
change.
Yeah, you see people that you used to hang out with. You start enforcing like, listen, man, I don't like you said, hey man, listen, I don't like where you be. It's something simple. I don't like where you be tapping your foot like that. That should make me, think
Yeah,
that's a pet peeve. That's a pet peeve.
but let's just
yeah,
say
Boundaries.
something
I
simple
don't
like
I don't
take
like
your shoes off when you come in the house.
right.
yeah,
All of a sudden, you don't
Well,
want to
yeah,
come over to my house no more. For what?
because I'm actually like it's like I
yeah,
don't I don't consider that I consider that's a cultural thing. I don't
Or if
care.
I
I
say
don't, I care
don't
about
smoke
I
in my
can't really
car,
there you go.
yeah,
Boundary. And like when you let me smoke in your car before, well, I never liked it. You never really asked.
it's a new
You just
car.
kind of
This is my,
did.
you know what I'm saying?
This is
I got a
exactly. Now I
detail.
got a new exactly. Now I knew
yeah.
I just got a new car and I don't want to smell it like that. You got a
Uh-huh.
problem with that? You can go
Or
ahead and
like
Uber, my boy.
yeah, or like if you try to quit smoking or something, like let's say you try to quit smoking, and the first
Mhm,
thing you tell your friend, and the first thing they
mhm.
do is say, "Hey, let's go get high real quick." No, I just told you
Yeah,
I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
right.
Respect my. we, and a lot of people when they think of boundaries, they think of no.
Yeah.
No,
No
it's
is a boundary, but it's not the only boundary. It's not the only
correct.
type of,
Boundary
Right.
that there is, yeah,
you
a
know what I'm
hundred
saying?
percent.
Mhm.
So like when you say that you are comfortable, you would be okay with yourself as far as letting your woman have male best friends as long as she has boundaries. Are you one of those people that you would like to see visually the boundaries that she has put? Like you would like to for them to be demonstrated in front of you?
I think it's important, especially in early relationships. If you're getting to know your woman or whoever you're with, you got to see how they move. You got to see what they see as boundaries and what's proper because
And
they
I feel
do
like
have
it,
you to
yeah,
think about
I feel like as a
in that
partner, you would
situation.
want it. Like if you were showing your woman that you had boundaries put in place, I feel like you would want to show those off to her. To say, hey, babe, I respect you this much. Look what I'm doing for you.
Yeah, and I don't think that's too much, honestly.
No,
Now,
no,
I'm not going to micromanage you because that gets tiring. Like, I'm
no,
not
you
trying to.
definitely don't want to do that. Like you know what I'm saying? If you got to walk around,
I gotta,
double
I
guess,
gotta,
nah, we
Yeah,
good.
I gotta keep watching you. Come on, bro. I ain't
I'm
got
gonna go
time for
ahead and
this.
yeah.
skate.
You feel like babysitting at that point, and you feel like you with somebody that's not fully getting it. Y'all not on the same level. So
Yeah,
if you're not understanding where I'm coming from, I don't see this relationship going much further than where it is now.
100%.
Okay. Yeah.
100%. For me, shoot. I have my boundaries with that as well too. Like, listen, like, don't tell me. This is why sometimes I hate for the fact and call this accountable if you want to. I not accountability if you want to. I can't say that I blame my astrology sign. I can't, but I can because I'm empathetic.
Okay.
Okay,
It's
so
that
if
cornucopia.
I'm empathetic, and I can say this wholeheartedly because I get so many people who just come and they talk to me, and I learn their life story before even getting to know their last name or being able to
What? Well,
pronounce their last name.
Yeah.
I think with that, Akeisha, I think it was the way you were raised.
Probably.
You give off very much comfort that I would
Mhm.
feel when I would go to my dad's mom, my grandma, on that side.
Right.
Very much comfort,
Right.
like very much, hey, uh, talk to me, confide, you can confide in me.
Mhm.
I think that resonates. I don't think that for me personally, I don't believe as far as like astrology as more
Yeah.
as I do energies that resonates from within you.
Right.
The same way that dogs can sense, people believe that animals can sense the wickedness inside of people. I believe that
Mhm.
once you have a certain wavelength or an energy, it resonates so much off of you, like the warmth of the light, that people can feel that, and it puts people at
Right.
ease.
Right.
Mhm.
Thank you. I like that. That's very nice. That means I'm a genuine good person. That's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what that sounds like.
I mean, I agree with all that. I mean, the same
Yeah.
stuff we're made of is the very things that made the universe. Think
Yeah.
about that. We're all connected. So I agree
100%.
with all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But to get back to the topic real quick, I said that because I always anybody who I, decide to start to pursue, 'cause I really don't pursue that often. I'm just being real with you. I don't. I flirt a lot. Like if you seen, um, Zach, you seen, I flirt a
You
lot.
taking
My
that?
shit
I
is
be taking
my.
notes.
I, for me, it's harmless because I have no intentions behind it.
She
Now,
said
if I have
it's
intentions
not her
behind it,
fault. Everything she say come all smooth like cream cheese on a bagel,
Yeah.
baby.
you know
He's
what
you
I'm
very smooth now.
saying?
Very smooth.
Well, stop it. I ain't know all this. Cut it out. Cut it
Yeah.
out. But like, okay, I start to, pursue a female and things like that, go ahead and actually talk to them to actually get to know them outside of whatever environment that we ended up, connecting into,
Mhm.
right? I'll go ahead and if I learn certain things when it comes down to you tell me about your ex and hey, this person, you tell me that you had a toxic relationship with your ex, but you guys are still friends. Cut that. You try to deal with me, cut that shit.
Mhm.
Because what's not gonna happen is this person calling you in the middle of the night. No. I got a homegirl who calls me at the yeah, I got a homegirl who calls me, but when she calls me, I ain't gonna bullshit. She might kick my ass because I tell her that. I'm like, have to hit this, but I don't give a fuck. Sometimes I'll look at the phone, not put this.
Yeah.
But if you get to calling me X amount of times, I'm gonna just be real. I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up because at that point in time, I feel like something's wrong. And I'm like, hey, babe, listen, somebody calling me. My homegirl calling me. She don't call me like this. She doesn't call me back to back. She called me the first time,
Mm,
and that's it. As an ex, don't compare your new compartment to your. You right. You right. You right. And I get told that too. I get told that as well too. Don't compare me to your lad to your ex. I'm like, but you're doing the same
I'll
stuff.
tell you, it's
okay.
not, and I'll tell people the same thing. The same when my homegirls ask me, they'll ask me for advice and stuff, and I'm like, don't never
Mm,
forget what you've been through.
yeah.
I
Mhm,
said, never forget the signs that you were shown.
Mm-hmm.
That you know what I'm saying, because these are your warning signs. These are the warning signs that
Mm-hmm.
you chose to ignore the first time.
Mm-hmm.
right,
I said, do not forget the lessons in life, but never be
Mm-hmm.
too afraid to get out there and learn new ones. But that doesn't mean that we're
okay.
completely oblivious to what has happened already. We don't ever want to throw away the wisdom that we've been given.
Mhm,
You
Of
know,
course,
especially
100%.
if it's came with pain or emotion, or
Mm-hmm.
important something of importance in our life. We never want to throw that away. But we also, like I said, don't want to, how you say,
Mask
hold somebody else accountable for the actions that
so
you
for
made.
somebody else's reactions. I get that,
mhm,
and I understand that. Hold me accountable of what I have done to you, not what the last person did to you.
mm,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think right. I think what it is nowadays. I think a lot of people, especially now in relationships, relationships nowadays are so toxic for the simple fact is, again, we talked about accountability. We talked about not knowing the other person's true intentions because they can't be real. They can't speak the truth. But it's also knowing these they get these words in them, and now all of a sudden, I put a post on Facebook the other day. I said, you learn one new word now. Every ex you ever dated is a what's the
Whatever,
word,
whatever the word is.
a misogynistic asshole. You know,
oh,
not every ex you dated is controlling. You know, and
yeah,
I think one of those words that I was trying to talk about right now is the word that they throw around nowadays is basically um what is it?
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Insecurities.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
You're insecure. You're insecure. That's why you are the way you are. You're insecure, and then it's like making you look bad. But in reality, guys, if somebody tells you something that makes them uncomfortable, and you truly care about this person,
You
it
will
is your
change that.
duty and your job to address the issue because that is your person, your partner, your woman, your man, whatever it is. If that's the person that you choose to ride or die with, then you should be as attentive to those as you are as attentive to your best friend who you can't cut off or you can't tell to relax or you can't tell to chill
Mm-hmm.
when your old
Mm-hmm.
lady or your old man tell you something. You know what I'm saying? You should be more attentive to that person. They're the ones that are trying to build a life with you, not your homeboy,
mhm,
not your mama, not your daddy. You know what I'm saying? Your
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
partner.
That's
True.
real.
That's 100%. That's 100%.
So,
That's 100%. I'm with that. I'm with that. I'm with that.
yeah,
You kid.
you-
Change behavior is always going to be one of the big the best forms of uh
that's exactly what I was
forgiveness
thinking
and
about.
growth. Yeah,
Yeah,
change behavior. You change how you like that's perfect example. I tell you something that I don't like, that's something that bothers me, and you continue to do it. That means you never really care for me
Yeah,
because you're going to continue to do it. You know that you know off the rip it bothers me because I told you that first thing.
but we
yeah,
also have to be
First
careful
time.
with that because there are people who take advantage of that saying that I don't like this, I don't like that, and they make it to where I want you to be this type of person. It's okay
Mhm.
to talk about insecurity. It's okay to say, hey, I don't feel like that. But I will tell you guys, this is a red flag, guys. If this ever happens to you, if the person that you're trying to make happy consistently is trying to change everything about you,
Mhm.
don't be with that person because they're looking for somebody that they're trying to mold you into somebody else. They're not
mm,
happy with
There
you.
you.
yeah,
As again, there are certain things that are okay. For instance, like I said, if it's uncontrolled, maybe it's uncomfortable when you sit there, you talking about you want to be friends with your ex, and I tell you about my past with that situations with me, and you don't want to come to a compromise. There's an issue, because again, you're building a relationship with me, not your ex.
Mm.
Mhm.
Uh, but
Woo.
again, like I said, there are people who use that and they'll sit there and be like, "Oh, I don't like this, I don't like that," and then next thing you know, you're changing everything about yourself to make a person happy, and next thing you know, you don't know who you are anymore.
Uh-huh.
100%. And now you resent that person because, bitch, you don't turn me into somebody. I don't even know who the fuck I am. No more. Now you have an identity crisis. Why? Because you don't know
Yeah,
what you got going on.
it's real.
They have two different people all inside you. But at the end of the day, when it comes back down to this topic, can men and women be friends? Men and women be friends? Now, this is, of course, after you said during what, the cut season, after friends with benefits type thing.
Yeah.
No, can't. Feelings are involved. You fuck a bitch too deep. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Everybody got that.
So let me ask the follow with that. How much do you think society has like an influence over male and female relationships nowadays, or female and female relationships?
A big one because it's too
Even
it's too
music.
it's too right, it's too fucking viral, bro. Oh, I want this,
Yeah.
I want Beyonce, Jay-Z goes, I want whatever internet sensation goes, I want Easy and Natalie go. I don't give a fuck about that one of them.
Yeah.
I don't talk to them niggas on the regular. I don't know. I want my
Yeah. Yeah.
relationship, fam. I want my relationship, and if we have to learn how to go ahead and obtain our relationship, my relationship, your relationship, our relationship, if we got to go ahead to fight to maintain that, well, first of all, I shouldn't fight to maintain that damn thing. If it doesn't come to me organically, I don't know what to do.
Mhm.
If it doesn't come to me, if I get it, some things take work, and a lot of things, not even some, a lot of things take work. But if it's, excuse me, um, if it comes down to where I find myself compromising more, and you're not really compromising with me as well, we're gonna have a good little talk, change behavior. You don't change the behavior. Guess what? I can't. I
Well,
can't.
then,
You want to be
Yeah.
like somebody else. I'm
what do
Yeah.
me.
you? What about you, Zach? How do you feel? How do you feel society, dictates or has influenced whether men or women can be just friends? Think about this as far as music and movies and the culture.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we all know from the movies we've seen, especially in the black community, movies like Black Panther, Friday, uh, all these movies that have had big success. You got to remember, people are looking at these things and they can be defining of a community and stuff like that. So when we talk about our own culture and stuff, in our own society, that stuff can influence and define, nearly define what things are. So when we talk about relationships, a lot of people they look to these things, these sources, media sources, for wisdom and guidance on what things are. So you got young people coming up, they don't know what love is. Where do you think they're gonna look to the
We go.
easiest thing? They cell phones, social media, all that. So we got to be careful what we're displaying on these platforms because this is where they're looking for their role models, you know, to be showing us what is and what ain't.
It
And so,
sucks to hear that. It sucks to hear that as well too. Everything is just right in our hand now. All the information that we could ever obtain is right there. And when back in the day, and it's funny, me and my brother, we was talking about this like not too long ago. You used to
mm,
be able to look back at your parent, like at your family history. Your
mm,
grandparents, your great grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, all things like that. Like in my family, a divorce runs a lot. I'm not even gonna bullshit with you. Divorce runs so hard. This shit is
mm,
crazy, and it makes me
yeah,
not want to go ahead and get married because that's where I feel like I would lead up to. But I gotta remember, I'm not them.
yeah,
I'm not them.
real,
They married on first impulse. I got engaged on first impulse. I didn't. We never made it to that spot. I was hiding the ass. I went ahead and did something.
yeah,
Shorty when it got paid back, I couldn't take the
yeah,
heat. So I left the kitchen.
yeah,
I left the kitchen. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
yeah,
I couldn't take what I did being done back to me. Therefore,
yeah,
a valuable lesson. I will never ever do anything like that ever again.
yeah. But
Most
you
definitely.
were able to take a step back and reevaluate where you were and how you felt.
It took a while. Like I left when I left the state.
Dang,
Hey,
That's
you
sometimes
had to
how
get out
sometimes
bad
that
that's
it
what it takes.
was.
situation.
Sometimes that's what it takes. You
Yeah,
have to
Yeah,
leave. You have to put
I
yourself in an
left.
uncomfortable position for growth.
Absolutely, and
yeah,
and I left the state. I felt fucking terrible. When I
Mm,
say terrible, I felt terrible. What the hell I got doing? Got why I gotta go mess with your best friend? Why? Why? I'm
mm,
being hot in the ass. I'm just being honest and open. Why I gotta go mess with your best friend? And you go ahead and you reciprocate. You find out you reciprocate the same shit. I ain't even had the balls to tell you. You reciprocated the shit. You found out you reciprocated the shit. When what not? I didn't even have a best friend at the time. It was just my close friend. You go ahead and you do the exact same thing to me, and I find out. You tell me. I
mhm,
find out. I found out through the horse's mouth. And
mhm,
I want to. At that time, we didn't call it crash out. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, I know I crash out and I leave the state because
mhm.
I can't take what I've done to you. I learned a
Yeah,
valuable lesson in my own self. Don't do that shit.
yeah, that's
Very
real.
most most definitely, guys. We today we talked about can men and women really just be friends, and uh,
I'm in
I
agreement. Nah.
I said no. Keisha said yeah.
I said yeah, but I was under the impression of something different.
Well,
I'm a platonic relationship, not knowing after we done.
no, no,
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
just platonic. It's just platonic. Like I
Just
said,
platonic, platonic.
but
Uh,
it's in general. It's in general because
Yeah,
what is the definition of friends? Uh,
mhm.
whatever you make it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give
yeah.
my two. I'm gonna say my two, and y'all can agree. Y'all can add something else if you like. This is just my
Mhm.
two. I'm gonna
Yeah.
give my perspective on the male side. I'm gonna give my perspective on the female side on why each of them have their faults. On the male
Mhm.
side, obviously we talked about it, and I'm gonna say that men are not. They've never had the opportunity to open up emotionally with anybody else. So whenever a woman being nurturing as they are,
Mhm.
listen to them and let them confide in them. They feel that connection, and that causes that passion and what they think is, love and lust and all this other stuff. These emotions that they aren't familiar with, so they don't know how to control themselves. So they want more. They want a deeper connection, and the young mind, the deeper connection will and always will be sex. That's the deeper
Mhm,
connection. That's where the top is. That's where they think that the goal is.
Mhm.
mhm,
That's my side for men. As far as women, I think that women naturally want excitement. They want excitement. They want the thrill. They listen to it in music nowadays. Every song is about cheating. Every song is about having five, six dudes, paying for you, whatever. Having six dudes chasing after you. Chris
right,
Brown talks about it. There was that song where old girl was talking about she singing and she's talking about I have a man, and Chris Brown's talking about so whatever, come over here. What song talk about.
Mhm.
yeah,
And this is
I
this is
don't give a.
yeah, what I'm talking about. But this is what women like to listen to.
uh-huh,
And I think that's what they crave. They want that attention. They want that sense of thrill and excitement in their life. So they go after these dudes, and even if it's just flirting and stuff like that, they take it a little extra overboard. You
uh,
know, that's
I
just
yeah,
just say
my
give
two
it.
cents.
okay. I'm gonna add on to that then. I'm gonna add on to that. I agree with that for the most part. Spicy, you've been throwing notes in all day, and
Okay.
I've been enjoying them. The gaslighting
Okay.
part, that was important. Gaslighting. Somebody is taking the time to be vulnerable with you, and you just gaslighting them. That's like outright rejection and
Yeah.
ignoring what that person's saying. Uh, and now he's saying Jacob giving
Different
the
woman,
woman's perspective.
what
Yes,
perspective is dangerous.
dangerous. It can be, but like we all say, we're only giving our perspective on
What we
what we experienced.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I think I agree with a lot with what Jacob said, but also I think it's possible, but with boundaries, serious boundaries, and they can't be flexible boundaries. They got to be hard boundaries. Because if not, you're just somebody wanting the most out of a relationship and not understanding what the relationship is and not understanding when to ignore your feelings and emotions and when it's safe to follow those emotions. You got to know what relationship it is you're defining, what type of relationship you want to have with this person. Because if not, on an off day, that relationship can turn into something else off of misconception or impulse. So people need more self control. And if you want to have that type of relationship, you got to grow up to have those relationships. That's my take on it.
get my little last 2 cents on it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do I agree with what he said? With what who said? What Jacob said
Talk
or
about
what?
me. Talk about what I
How
said.
about
Yeah,
you?
yeah, Jack. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes and no. No, what? It's more yes. I ain't even gonna cap to you. It's more yes. Because everything, I mean, this is gonna be so vague and so broad because it really everything all depends on that person. It depends on that person's upbringing. It depends on how that person, you know, perceives.
Yeah, like I said,
Honestly.
I said it in the beginning, guys. My aspect of the way I look at the world is taking the world in the state it currently is right now, and society
Yeah.
as a whole, and putting that on a
Mhm.
weight scale, and I balance my outlook on what I know to be facts.
Um,
And that's fine. You go off of your factual, by
right,
So like
right.
basis.
But do I completely 100% agree that women and men can't be friends? No, I don't believe, because there are good people. Again, there are good
Hmm.
people like you guys that have boundaries that are working to better yourselves. So
Hmm.
that, but in retrospect, in the whole, as a society as a whole, I feel like we're like sliding off the deep end. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
100%. Everything isn't. It's not every. We're having to slide off the deep end. We're if not slide, we're teetering.
yeah,
We are teeter
and,
Yeah,
tottering on
yeah.
that edge because it's so everything can be so misconstrued and easily
Mhm.
influenced by
so many factors.
one person's view or another person's view instead of having your own
Yeah.
cognitive
Own
sense to
thinking.
be able to go ahead and think. If
Mhm.
you feel you can have a platonic relationship, or if you feel you can have a FWB, friends with benefits, for those who don't understand what that is, you should by now. But I don't know my audience. For those who feel they can, obtain that and they have a clear, conscious, and concise agreement.
Yeah.
It is
Mhm.
flat. It is flat down. Listen, hey, when I call you, you go ahead and come over. If I text you, I just want to talk. That's it. If I call you, if I call you, it's a direct thing. If I text
Yeah,
you, I'm ready to just have a genuine conversation.
yeah.
Come on. Remember these two. That's it. I only got
Right,
two
right.
rules. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
I'm gonna say one last thing, and then I'll let y'all finish up.
For
Uh,
sure.
Guys, I don't want what I say to be true.
Right.
I don't want a world where you have to put boundaries up, where you know what I'm saying, where you have to consistently feel out of place with the person you're with. If we could all be just ourselves, if we could all be truthful and honest, it would make life a whole lot easier. If you
Can I
could
pause you
focus,
right there?
yeah, go ahead.
Can I pause you right there? So with boundaries isn't always a bad thing.
No, 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 you're right. You
Yeah,
know,
Mhm.
boundaries isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes boundaries is just set. It's not even set for the other person. It's set for you.
yeah. Well,
You know
Mhm.
what I'm
this, but
saying?
I was gonna go on to say that if we
Yeah.
could, instead of, when you're in a relationship, if you're like, focus on the relationship you're in.
Mhm.
Stop when you switch and you have a partner with somebody, whether it's a girlfriend, a boyfriend, wife, or husband, or whatever situationship you're in. Focus on that person that you're revolving your entire world around, and stop trying to appease. At that point, you should stop trying to appease everybody else
Mhm.
and focus on that. That is how our grandparents were able to last years together,
What?
because they didn't worry about what they weren't trying to keep up with the Benjamins. They
Mhm.
were focused on what was in that household, each other, and living and dealing, and nowadays people want to run at the first sign of trouble, because, oh, it makes me feel uncomfortable, or if we were really meant to be, we wouldn't argue like this. Everybody's gonna have arguments. There's no Disney perfect relationship.
Mhm.
100%.
The way that you get those relationships, that your grandparents are 30, 40, 50 years together, 60 years together, is working them out, working your problems out. Me sitting here and saying that men and women can't be friends right now as it sits in the world is really sad. for me to think about because it means that I have to admit that we are, as a society, as humans, are failing to evolve past our own desires. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And it forces me to sit here and accept that this is just the human nature that we are currently at.
Yeah.
And that's not a good thing for me to want to look at it or accept. Especially with my daughters growing up in this world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was getting ready to say, you got kids, bro. You got kids growing up in this world. So you got to teach them in that way of being able to. You got to teach them in a defensive way, but still to be, you know, to not be taken advantage of.
Mhm.
I don't
No,
believe in
and it's
society
not
as a
decided.
whole.
Like I said, no, because we have good people like Keisha and Zach, who are trying to do better, who acknowledge their faults and are trying to better themselves, from
Mhm.
this relationship on. But sad to say that they are few out of the many.
Mhm.
You know
You
what I'm
know what?
saying?
I can't even agree with that. I can't because all right, listen, I death scroll a lot. I ain't even gonna play with you on TikTok. You don't even understand. You probably do too as well, you know. You're laying down in bed or whatever, you just
Yeah, yeah.
you know what
I gotta go to sleep.
I'm saying?
30 minutes go by,
Oh,
an hour
God.
go by, an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I gotta go
You
to
know what I'm
sleep.
saying?
3 hours. I
I'm
was
saying,
like, oh shit.
Yeah.
God damn. But no, you are right. You don't understand. You don't even understand how many people I see, how many videos that I see, or pictures, or captions, and things like that that I read of people who. Now, some people maybe they bullshit.
In front for the
Mhm.
Some
gram.
people, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Do it for the gram. But nah,
Mhm.
you got some people who they are genuine with how they feel. Man, they done got out of the worst relationship that they could ever experience in their life, and now they're trying to not give up on what their concept of love, because that's the only love that they've ever really had, the only love they've ever experienced. That's the only love that they're aware of, and then had that positive a positive role model. You're like, for instance, my mom and dad, they've been married for how old is my sister? Almost 30 years.
Now, when you're scrolling through, are these relationships, are they more older, like mature couples, like mid, like earlier, like
Nah,
later 20s, early 30s?
nah, I consider it to be like they'll if
Because what I focus when I say
mid
society, I'm
twenties,
talking about the
mid
young generation.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'd be like mid 20s, early 20s to where I'm at right now. I
Mhm.
don't really see too much of the old because that's not the algorithm that I'm in. Just being
Yeah, yeah, I
honest.
didn't build that.
Exactly. That's not the algorithm. I build the algorithm brick by brick, baby. Don't do that. But what I see is, I see a lot of people, they're embarking on this journey. They're opening up in their feelings. They're trying to open up in their feelings. They're when it comes down to, mothers finally opening up to their daughters, or vice versa, daughters opening up to their mothers about certain things that used to go on in the family households that they wasn't comfortable with, you know, and some parents aren't able to hear that shit. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And then they realize, okay, all right. I guess
Yeah.
I gotta put my boundaries up, and I'm gonna love you from a distance. You feel
Uh,
me?
mhm.
I love one of the series that I always read. I read it and I listen to it, and I think I have my own cognizance of it, which is Am I the Asshole
Mhm.
for having it here? And, I be hearing how some of these people lie. I'm like, God damn, boy,
Yeah. Yeah.
they crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, I ain't
So,
gonna lie.
Mhm.
but yeah. It's a lot. It's so much to being a damn human. I swear to God, I'd be a dog any day. I mean, I take being an animal any day, and even they go
Temptation
through their
death.
own shit. Jesus
Temptation death.
Christ,
Yeah.
Lord have
Well,
mercy.
Yeah.
well, Zach, we appreciate you having us on as a guest, man.
For
On
sure.
the
For
Yes,
sure.
thank
Streetwise
you.
today.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Again, we got the showrunner Jacob here, and
I know
we
we
got a
got
special
look,
guest.
that's a wise man down there. Where he at?
I'm saying you don't
He
know how
right
long it's been.
there.
We've been trying to get him on here for the longest. But as
Who it
always,
took?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's, it's a pleasure, Keisha, to have you on here too as a special guest.
I
Your second time
appreciate you.
coming on. This will not be the last time.
Of course.
So for sure, for sure. Again, this was episode 9. Can men and women really just be friends? Sounds like we got a lot of reflection to be doing not
Well,
just
before we
question.
go, Zach, I want to hear your words of wisdom. Like, give us the last piece of advice. You
Yes,
know,
please.
to summarize it up, to
Send
end
me
it
off
up.
to work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Send me off to work, man.
Honestly,
Let me know what's good.
no matter how you feel about this situation, about this question, you definitely have to do some self reflective work and acknowledge what your inner demons are, what your issues are that can make you ruin those platonic friendships that you have. Never
Mm.
say what you won't do because given the right circumstances, they may happen. So don't think you're above any of the things we discuss on this show. So boundaries are important in my opinion. So think about the boundaries that you're willing to do, especially if you're in a relationship. Uh, yeah, the things you can and won't do for your partner. Consider those things and have those discussions with anybody, everybody, fellas. If you need to talk to somebody, don't just immediately go to that woman, especially if y'all relationship is a little rocky in the first place and questionable. If it's a FWB, probably not best to go to that person. Try your homeboys out. You know, I know that ain't the popular thing to do now, but
Yeah.
try them out. Chances are they may be going through the same thing. So, hey, it's here. That's it for me. But did y'all have any lasting advice?
Hey,
Be
look.
yourself at the end of the day. Be yourself at the end of the day. Be yourself at the end of the day. You teach people how to treat you.
Yeah, be your best self.
Be your best self. Yourself. I
Uh,
say that all the time.
so,
Most definitely, guys. The only thing I can
so,
really talk and say is if you're trying to talk to your homeboys about something that's really personal, sometimes you got to sit there and say, "Hey, look, on some real shit. Like, can I holler at you real quick on some real shit?" Let them know that it's that what you're gonna
Serious.
say is important. Let them know that it's serious, so that they don't take it as a joke. And if they
yeah,
still, and if you still, and you still push yourself to talk to that person, and they still take you as a joke, it might be time to get some new friends. That's all I
that
can
part,
say. You know what I'm saying?
that part.
But
So,
guys, shout out Three Wise Men, Penis Studios, guys. There's a donate up there. If you got some time, go and reach into your old lady's purse, your mom's purse. Take the little card. You know, you can do a scan the little thing up there. Boom. You know what I'm saying? This helps to
Yeah.
get green screens, guys. This helps to get mics for everything for the show to keep the podcast
so,
going, get guests. As
Eventually,
always, you
this will put us in a studio. You feel me?
yes,
oh, that's on the
exactly,
way. It's on the
exactly,
way.
exactly, guys. Don't forget next Saturday, Neil is gonna be on here. They got a music artist next in line.
Yeah,
Is gonna
yeah,
be y'all gonna do an interview, Zach and Ronnie. Y'all not gonna want to miss that. So y'all tune in next
Let's go.
Saturday, guys. Sunday,
for
Sunday.
sure.
I'm sorry, next Sunday,
Sunday.
2 to 3 p.m. EST.
Let's
Zach
get
and
it. We
Ronnie
excited.
will be with Neil next in line. Y'all can check him out on TikTok, Instagram, see his music and stuff.
For
Neil
sure. For
next in
sure.
line. I'm with that.
Yeah, yeah.
The
All
real
right, all right.
Neil. Shout out real Neil.
For
As
sure, for sure.
always, y'all check that
That's
show
up.
out right there. Fat and Spicy tomorrow, Tuesday, 10 p.m., 10:30 to 11.
Let them know. Let them know. Yeah, yeah. All right. Like I said, as always, it's been a pleasure, Keisha. Jacob, this won't be your last time either. So get ready.
You
That was too
hear
much
me? You
wisdom for
hear
us to
me? That was good.
keep
You
all
feel
that
me?
wisdom to give to people. He just hold it to himself. That's crazy.
Yes.
That's selfish. Hey.
Selfish as hell. Good Lord.